different. I see by your heart I see. Come baby, come try me. Who you gonna love if you run by me, love?
Ask my best trait, I say fashion, cause everything's a statement and I be killing fabrics. Every fit I create is great, it screams bad chicken. At this rate, the hate is seems average and misplaced.
Hey girlies and gents, it's Shanice. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome if you're new. I just recently came back from Miami and I had such a great time. I went with my girl Flo and honestly, it was both of our first time, so we didn't really know what to expect in going there. And that's why today I want to create a Miami travel guide for you on some key tips and things you should know before traveling there. Within this video, I will break it down into sections. Things like food suggestions, walking versus Uber, hotels versus Airbnbs, and everything in between. The timestamps for those sections will be down below in the description box. So if you do need to skip forward, you can, although I definitely encourage you to watch the whole entire video. That way you can get an overview on what to expect when going to Miami. In addition, I will also include the itinerary that I created for Flo and I, just in case you want to put together your own itinerary for going. Before we start this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we are on the way to 1K. Let's get started. Just a disclaimer, I am not a Miami local. Your girl is from New York City. All of this information is based off of the experience that I had when I went to Miami. So we're gonna start this off by talking about 3 key tips to even just being in Miami, period. First key step is to making sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure that you're constantly drinking water, that you constantly have water with you, because it can get extremely hot and humid in Miami. Hot and humid, just in case you didn't understand the first time. The second key step is to making sure you have sunscreen. Like I said, it's very hot and humid in Miami. I personally went in May, and around May, it's already starting to be summertime. The temperatures were about 83 to 85 degrees, but the humidity made it even hotter. And on top of that, one of the hotel employees told us that is not even the hottest that it can get. I honestly couldn't imagine being there in a temperature much hotter than that. But make sure that you're applying sunscreen and reapplying sunscreen, because you don't want to get sunburned like I did. And step 3, this one is optional, but you can get a small travel fan off of Amazon. I actually ordered one, but it came on the day that I left to go to Miami, so I didn't get to use it, but I will tag it down in the description box just in case you want to get the same one that I did. The next topic we have is Airbnb versus hotel. When we went to Miami, we actually chose to stay in a hotel as opposed to Airbnb. There wasn't necessarily a specific reason why, but normally when Flo and I go on a trip, I kind of leave her responsible for finding us a place to stay just because she always finds great deals. So this time around, sis found a great deal on the Goodtime Hotel. If you don't know, the Goodtime Hotel is actually co-owned, I think, with Pharrell and someone else. Like, one of the most important things to being on this trip was just overall safety. And I think the Goodtime Hotel definitely provided that. Some of my favorite safety things within the hotel was, 1, you couldn't go on any floor unless you had a room key. The only floor you can actually go on without a room key is floor 3. And that's because it has all of the amenities. So things like the pool, things like the gym, as well as the restaurant. Those are things that other tourists can come and they can get a day pass if they want to use. If they want to go to the restaurant, they can as well. So I really love that. No one else can go to the specific rooms unless you actually scan them in. There is someone always at the desk waiting when you come in at night. They're there to help you. They're very compassionate. Another safety thing that I loved about this hotel was actually in the rooms, you can lock the door from the inside, and there is also a safety pad thing that you can put on. So it's kind of like a foldable thing. So if anyone opened the door, they kind of like have that safety lock where they can't fully get into the room. So I really love that as well. Definitely made staying at that hotel feel safe. Overall, I really love this hotel. The workers were extremely helpful and compassionate. During the end of the trip, my girl Flo accidentally left her AirPods in the room, and they went 100% making sure they found it and returned it to her before we left, even though we had already checked out. So that was really good. They also do offer events that you can do. So when we got there on a Saturday. They were having pool parties and other type of events that you know, if you wanted to attend, you could go to. We had already had an itinerary, and by the time we came back, the pool party was over, so we didn't get to do that. But there is also a couple of like exercise events that you can go to, and I definitely think that's great for someone who doesn't have anything planned and wants to just have a bunch of fun being in Miami. Although we didn't get to go to the restaurant within the hotel, that is also an option if you do choose to stay at that hotel. There's also a bar in the hotel, the pool, the gym. Everything is in there, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. It's honestly like the cutest little hotel. The only thing that I personally didn't like as much was the fact that the rooms were a little bit smaller than like the average hotel size. We kind of already knew this going in. We already saw what it looked like, so we already kind of knew what to expect. But that is like the only downside. I call it a small room. They call it a boutique style room. But honestly, guys, that room is small. It worked out for us. It was only 2 of us that went. Me and Flo are close, so I didn't mind being in close proximity with her. But if you are looking to stay at the Goodtime Hotel, definitely look into that. They do have rooms that are slightly bigger, but I don't think it's that much bigger than the room we stayed in. Next, we have walking versus Ubers. If you know anything about Miami, there's South Beach Miami, and then there's downtown Miami. A lot of those spring break vlogs are definitely based in South Beach Miami. A lot of people like to stay along the strip. If you do choose to stay along the strip, this is a great way to cut down on Ubers because you will be walking a lot of the times. Most of the restaurants and things to do are within a walking distance. So because we did stay at the Goodtime Hotel, the Goodtime Hotel is located along the strip, and we were able to walk to all of the restaurants that we wanted to try out. They were in about a 4 to 10 minute walking radius for us. One thing to note is that the airport is located within downtown Miami. So if you are taking an Uber from downtown Miami around the airport all the way to South Beach, the Uber costed us about $18 and change. And honestly, most of the time, just to go back and forth to downtown Miami to South Beach was around that price, because we did travel back to downtown Miami when we wanted to go on a boat, and we also went to the Vizcaya Gardens, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this vlog. But Vizcaya Gardens was downtown Miami, and both times the Uber was about $17 to $18 to pay. Just to reiterate, we walked most of our time within Miami. We only took Uber or Lyft when we wanted to go to downtown Miami. Most of like the taxi and Ubers were about $18 or about $16 to $22, depending on the demand of the cab. We personally kind of checked back and forth between Uber and Lyft, although I personally rather Uber because sometimes Lyft takes a little bit longer for the taxi driver to come. But if you are willing to wait, Lyft can be sometimes cheaper than an Uber in Miami. Next, we have food suggestions. So within Miami, there are a lot of restaurants that have definitely gained popularity. For example, the Gianni's restaurant at the former Versace mansion. A lot of these restaurants, I definitely recommend making a reservation before you go. If you don't make a reservation, sometimes there is a long wait time. I personally got told to make reservations before I went to Miami, so I think that is the best bet. We checked restaurant websites about a week before our trip and made reservations. And let me tell you, we went to a restaurant called Bacon. I'll put it across the screen. And within that restaurant, a lot of their reservation time started to book up when we looked on their website ahead of time. So definitely look online for reservations. Recommend checking about a week ahead of time. Another thing to know about restaurants, specifically, I know this for South Beach Miami because this is where we always ate, but the restaurants along the strip charge about an 18 to 20% service fee on each meal. So make sure that you're bringing extra cash or that you have enough money on your card to pay, because the bill can get expensive really fast because of those service fees. Now let me give you some restaurant suggestions. One of my favorite restaurants during my time there was Lemonada. Lemonada is this cute brunch place. We actually went on Sunday, and Sunday is a big brunch day for them. So we actually got a reservation for about 12 o'clock. I definitely recommend going to the restaurant about 5 to 10 minutes earlier than the appointment. Because Lemonada was only about a 4-minute walk from the Goodtime Hotel, we kind of just went exactly on time. And then we realized there was a line of people with reservations waiting. So make sure you get there about 5 to 10 minutes before. Other than that, the restaurant was a vibe. Literally, they had great music. If you are a YouTuber and you're YouTubing in there, we realized that the music was very modern, but it's edited, so I don't think you would get copyrighted for any of the music that is playing in there. And then they had dancers that came out. They go really hard. If it's your birthday, they give you like the fire candles, the candles. I know you know which ones I'm talking about. And then they bring out the food really fast, and the food is of quality. I ordered also a side of mango, and they cut the mango up to perfection. That was probably one of the best meals that I've had during my time in Miami. The next restaurant I want to touch on is Gianni's at the former Versace Mansion. A lot of people go to this restaurant in Miami. It's very popular, and a lot of people go because of the aesthetics of the restaurant. They do have a lunch menu and a dinner menu. For the lunch menu, the restaurant is open from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And then they close, and then they open again from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. for dinner. We went for lunch, and I definitely recommend going for lunch because they do a $34 special for a 3-course meal. So you're able to get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. On the dessert menu as well, they have like daily chef specials. So you can ask the waiter what is offered in the daily chef special, which the day I went, they had like this shortcake, which was really good. The food was really good, and they bring it out in sections. So they'll bring it out, they'll take your plate, and then they'll bring out the next section and take your plate. Honestly, I just felt like I was living my rich auntie life. I also recommend going during lunchtime as well, just because it's daytime. So you get to see the little waterfall, it's bright, you get your pictures. It's probably also beautiful at night, but the lighting isn't out for you to possibly get the best pictures. The first restaurant we tried when we touched down in Miami was the Lickin'. Everyone brags about the Lickin' when they go to Miami, so we wanted to try it out. And honestly, when we tried this restaurant, we didn't book a reservation. I don't think they had reservations on the website, which is why we didn't book. We had to wait about 30 minutes for a table, and this was on a Saturday, which makes sense. You know, Saturdays is always the busiest day for restaurants, especially being it's a popular restaurant in Miami. One thing about the Lickin', I love their food, but I didn't love their service. So during our time at the Lickin', we actually ordered appetizers and our entree. The food overall was great. I ordered chicken and waffles. The chicken was sliding off the bone. I had red velvet waffles, which were just as amazing. But we waited so long for our food. And honestly, you wait in every restaurant, that's fine. But we did order appetizers, so we expected the appetizers to come out within a decent amount of time. We waited so long that the waiter just brought out our entree. So we were so confused, like, where's the appetizers? We asked him about the calamari. He went in the back to check, came out, went to serve other people their plates. We finished, ate our entree. At this point, we're looking for the check. We asked him about the calamari. He said, oh, like the calamari's frozen. Like, sorry about that. It's one thing for it to be frozen, but it's another for you not to come back to the table and at least let us know, because maybe we could have just ordered something else as an appetizer before our entree. That's neither here or there. Just be mindful of the service. We also went through other things. I recommend you watch my vlog just to kind of see what went down. But other than that, the food was great. They just are not the best with service. The last restaurant we went to was Bacon Bitch. And honestly, every video, every TikTok that I've seen, this restaurant is always lit. I think we just went on the wrong day. We went on a Tuesday, so it makes sense. But this restaurant specifically has brunch food, and I definitely recommend going on maybe like a Saturday or a Sunday, because when we went, it was cool. The music was good, but it wasn't a vibe like I always see in the videos. The food came out extremely fast, which was fine. It was great quality as well. They have a cute menu, which I'll add in here, as well as the drinks. I got an emotionless drink, and I got a classy bitch for the food. So if you want to get the same thing I did, that's what I got. Loved it. And for dessert on our trip, we tried out this ice cream place that we found along the way called Snow at the Beach. This ice cream place was just open 3 weeks before we went. It was literally so cute. Flo asked the restaurant just about the ice cream place, and the woman in there, she let it be known that her daughter actually owns it, but her daughter allows her parents to working there. So I thought that was really cute. They have Dippin' Dots, they have Mexican ice, and then they have regular ice cream. They also do have some fruits in there. So if you're going to Miami, go support them. I do have a couple of other suggestions on the itinerary just because I didn't know if we wanted to change our mind on some of the food places we wanted to try. But I will include the itinerary towards the end of this video, just in case you are staying for a longer period of time or you want to try out some of the other restaurants within Miami. Next, we have some of the things to do within Miami. There is so much to do in Miami. It just depends on the vibe you're going for, how much money you're trying to spend. If you're trying to balance rest and activities, which is what we were trying to do, this is definitely something to make sure you note before traveling to Miami. So being along the strip, you can go to Ocean Drive. It's just kind of like a strip of stores in case you want to go shopping, a strip of restaurants in case you want to go eat, in case you want some dessert, in case you just want to walk down and see all of the other tourists or locals that actually live in the area as well. There's also a park right next to Ocean Drive, which is called Lummis Park, and it's like a huge park. People playing volleyball there, people just sitting down, relaxing themselves. We actually ended up going to Lummis Park the last day of our trip because we checked out of our hotel early, went to Bacon Beach, and then kind of like relaxed and walked through Ocean Drive. And there is also a beach connected to Lummis Park, so that's also great in case you want to go to the beach, go in the water, relax as well. One of my favorite activities that we did was the Vizcaya Garden. This garden reminded me of like a botanical garden, but a luxury, bougie botanical garden. It was so beautiful. Being around nature just brings me so much peace, and it's a huge garden and museum. You can spend hours being there. Again, Miami is hot, and this day the sun was beaming. The sun was very, very draining on us, so definitely make sure you're bringing water. Another excursion we did was a boat ride. So when planning the itinerary, one of Flo's non-negotiables was the fact that we had to do a boat ride, which only makes sense. If you're going to Miami, you just have to ride a boat. But we did a boat ride, and finding like a fun party boat was honestly hard, but I actually found the Miami experience. So it is a boat company and they do fun boat rides. They have unlimited alcohol. The boat ride is about 3 hours, and they have 3 different time slots. They have like a morning boat ride, an afternoon boat ride, and then a night boat ride. You can go on their website and check. I'll also put it down below in the description box. But that boat ride was so much fun. Everyone on the boat was just having fun. The music was great. They played trap music. They played Caribbean music. They played a little bit of Afro beats. They played a little bit of Spanish music. They literally played like everything. So we had a great time. Again, if you haven't seen the vlog, make sure to go check it out so you can see all of the fun that we had. Miami also has a couple of other boat tours, which I started to see before finding the Miami experience. So if you are someone who maybe wants to do a tour of like the celebrity houses, they kind of just take you on the water and pass by the celebrity houses and tell you who's each one. A lot of boats are docked at the Bayside Market. So if you are someone looking to do an excursion and you just couldn't find it online, I'm 100% sure you can buy it in person right there on the dock. But I definitely recommend buying it ahead of time because sometimes it may be cheaper buying it ahead of time. We also went to the Oasis. The Oasis is this like little section. It's kind of like a town square mall. Like it's kind of like squared. They have food areas all over. They play music. They have like their tower. And then we actually went there specifically for a party though. At the party, they played Caribbean music, Afro beats, a little bit of Spanish music, you know, a little bit of everything. And it was fun just being there. That was our first night of going to Miami. So after the Oasis, we ended up going to Wynwood Walls, although I definitely recommend going to Wynwood Walls in the daytime just so you can see the art in the daytime with the light. We wanted to go on the day that we went to Vizcaya Gardens, but that just didn't work out because the sun was draining and we wanted to go back and lay down in the hotel, just cool down. But I definitely recommend going to Wynwood Walls. The art is absolutely breathtaking, like seeing the graffiti and like the things that people draw. Miami has some talented artists. Also recommend going to the art district as well as the museum garage. I really wanted to go to the museum garage. From what I've seen on social media, they've had like a couple different rooms that you can go like explore, set up your camera, take pictures. But overall, we didn't get to go because again, the sun was draining. So now let's touch on the itinerary that I had planned, as well as some of my last words. Whether it's excursions or some of the restaurants you may want to try out, I definitely recommend doing your own research on them and making sure it's what you and the group that you're possibly going on wants to do as well. So here you can see the itinerary as well as some of the other things that I had put down during my planning phase for this Miami trip. Make sure to screenshot this and save it for when you're planning your Miami trip. If you are deciding to plan your own itinerary, one of the key things that I will always say is just kind of use Google Maps to kind of figure out how far something is from your own hotel or Airbnb, just so you can kind of gauge if you can walk there or if you do need to take an Uber. And lastly, please make sure you're taking your own safety precautions, specifically if you are a lady. A lot of men do catcalling.
If one more person catcalls, I'm literally going to throw up.
So just make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and making sure you're safe at all times. Other than that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this travel guide. Please let me know if this was helpful so I can definitely improve on the other travel guides that I plan to do whenever I go on another trip. If you like this video, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any other suggestions or if the itinerary was helpful for you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel before you leave, as we are on the way to 1K. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.